Slow process. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Hello world, welcome to the journalist chat today. And today we have a very special guest from different organizations, and we have a special guest from different part of the world. And you know that who are them? And they're the people who are frontliners. When you are staying in the home, they're the people who are working for you. And they're the people who are contributing their nations, contributing their society. So please welcome our guest tonight. So, hello, I'd like to introduce everyone. So, if you please introduce yourself, that will be amazing. So, if I start from the Asabri from India, so if you please introduce yourself, and that will be amazing for the audience.
Hi,
Asabri. Yeah.
I'm Asavri and I work with the International Organization for Migration in India. So we're dealing with trafficking, so counter trafficking and labor migration in India. So I was with the Thailand office before this, and now I'm working in Delhi.
Yeah.
Working from home for now, but
Yes. And thank you. And Salman.
Hello everyone, I am Salman Khan Yasin. I am a volunteer and coordinator of Dhaka June Vidyananda Foundation. Basically, I am with Vidyananda Foundation since 2013. We are a non-profit volunteer organization work for humanity.
Yeah, that's super. Mithun.
Yeah, so hello, this is Mithun Das Kampo. So I am the founding director of Alokita Shishu. We work for underprivileged children, basically excluded children who are living in rural areas like Vedic communities and super communities. We're working for them basically, and we are working also for like different kind of emergency responses in Bangladesh. Thank you.
Yeah. So, last, Halaluddin Bhai, please.
Thank you, team. Assalamu alaikum to all. This is Mohammad Halaluddin from Obrujatra, my organization name. Basically, we are based in Chittagong division, and since 1998, it is established in Chittagong. And our focus is basically in women empowerment in R&D industry. We are working in the last almost 18 years. And also our another focus is to humanitarian response DR project. Obrujatra having home-based worker more than 15,000 in both district in Chittagong and Cox's Bazar especially. So thank you. I will talk.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you
So
now.
I think that's the amazing things, you know. So for the audience, like the people, those who are working the front liners, and they don't need to introduce themselves. But why I ask them, because so that you know you're not forgetting the people, those who are frontliners. So during the time of COVID-19 and all, we know that around the world there is a problem is going on, and there's a lot of things is going on around the world. Not only the Bangladesh, 194 independent country, they're facing the same problem. So if I ask Asabri first, what is the present condition of India right now, and what programs you are doing, and what is the context right now there?
so India is currently in a third stage of government-imposed lockdown. So the cases of COVID are being reported right now. However, some restrictions have been eased. So from today, some offices have opened. But from the mid of March, mostly everything was at a standstill. So the problems that we're facing right now, especially with migrants and refugees, is that they're stranded and they have nowhere to go. Even for our reintegration and repatriation programs, because other member states don't have any travel arrangements as of now. So they're stuck in one place. So our citizens are stuck abroad, and people who are in India who want to go back to their home countries are stuck here. So that's a problem. And another problem is that because of COVID, the shelter homes are at a peak right now. So there's no place in the shelter homes for migrants to go, because already Indians who are going from one state to another and who are internal migrants, they're also occupying those shelter homes. So that's another problem that we're facing right now. However, with the easing of restrictions, we hope that this problem would soon be resolved, and
Yeah.
we'd be able to resolve our activities.
Yeah, I think all the problems, you know, like around the world, and this is people are trying to interrelate and also try to find the way to, I mean, do something. So if I ask Salman, and we know that like right now, and everyone know about the contributions of the Vidyananda and also the all other organizations, those who are working. So if I ask you right now, what kind of operations you are doing, and what is the present response? And we also know that you people has amazing experience from the ground. And if you share with us what experience you have and what in which context you are working.
Okay. At first, I want to describe the present situation of Bangladesh in our country. So, at present, low-income groups, including day laborers and garments workers, are badly affected groups as they instantaneously have become jobless and due to the national-wide lockdown. So, which began on March 26. So the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic will make the poor even poorer and throw about 50 million into poverty in Bangladesh. So the most affected will be those involved in unorganized labor sectors, including day laborers, transport workers, rickshaw pullers, restaurant workers, and like small businessmen. So at this moment, Vidyananda Foundation has been working tirelessly to meet the basic needs of the poor and disadvantaged. So this organization is working to provide food assistance among underprivileged families across the country. And it is distributing dry food among more than 2 lakh underprivileged families. And each family bag contains 8 kg of rice, flour, chekpa, salt, sugar, oil, and milk powder, biscuit, etc. So with this cooperation, with the cooperation of Bangladesh Army, BGB, Navy, Coast Guard, Police, RAF, and different youth voluntary organizations, Vidyananda is conducting these big relief distribution activities across the country. So besides, every day we are providing more than 20,000 boxes of cooked food among the slum people and street people at Dhaka and Chittagong and Chattogram in Bangladesh. So we already distributed hand sanitizers to public places. Besides, to prevent coronavirus, Vidyananda is spraying more than 6,000 liters of disinfectant every day in important places like hospital, etc. So we are already distributed 35,000 pieces of mask and about 5,000 pieces of PPE for doctors, including health workers, to make them safe in their service.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge contribution for any kind of nations or any kind of local communities. So Mithun Das Khabbo, and I know like you are one of the co-founder of a voluntary organizations called Volunteer Opportunities, and you were the CEO of one of the organizations called Alokito Shishu. And the last few days, when I was following your different motivational posts and different kind of a story, like sometimes you kind of disappointed and sometimes you are nervous. And if I ask you like, what kind of fact and what kind of experience you have from the ground, because when you deal with the people, you directly meet with the people, what the vibes of the general people?
Okay, thank you. So basically, I want to mention something that from my end, particularly, I always love to spread positive news. So I always try to write positive informations and the positive experiences what I have faced during work with COVID-19. So you might see some positive news like what I have written. So there was nothing like very nervous issues here even. So thank you so much for mentioning and like figuring out what I am doing currently on this moment. So basically, at Volunteer Opportunities, we are trying to provide volunteers for other organizations, and we are trying to collect volunteers from different places. Like in Bangladesh, you might see there are people who want to do volunteering for different organizations, and also for nearby organizations. Like they might know some organizations which is very far from their own area, but there is a problem and there is a gap between demand and supply. Like the organizations most of the organizations are now dying organizations just because of the lack of volunteer support. And most of the volunteers, sometimes they don't find the proper volunteer platform where they can really contribute. So here we have come up with a solution and try to bridge the gap between this crisis. So now currently we're working with some organizations who needs help with volunteering, and we are providing volunteer from our team. So at volunteer opportunities, currently we are now providing more than 10 organization volunteers. And also our team are working very dedicatedly, both external team and internal communication team there. They have the regular communication with the whole volunteer network, like 4,000 to 5,000 volunteers currently connected with this platform. And another thing, likewise, Bidanando, we also started our, this is as big organization we all know, right? But still as a very growing organization like Alokito Shishu and Git for Good as an initiative run by Alokito Shishu. We tried to start our initiative after 21 or 22 April, and currently we work mostly with marginalized communities. Like you might hear about sex worker communities, transgender communities, ethnic group of peoples, differently able people. So yes, and also river gypsies, sweepers and everything. We try to give them full relief support, 5 to 10 days food support. We try to give them masks and sanitizers. We try to give them 1 day meal also. And now we are also trying to now give them iftar package, food packaging and everything. So we currently are working more than 20 districts, Dhaka and outside Dhaka both. So here is our first target, always marginalized communities and very marginalized, and it has to be very needy people who are seeking for help. So this is how we started the program. We don't even sure how much and how many days we can continue the program, but once we started the program, we got huge response from our supporters, and we have seen thousands of people are working as just do the support with Alokito Shishu with Git for Good, and these supports now give us the boosts to work more for this whole platform and for doing great against COVID-19. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is when any of the person or any organizations take any kind of initiative, this is a good things like the people, those who want to support the people, even individually, even whatever class, even they are able to get the perfect place to contribute, and people really happy to do that. And I saw I was following the both of your work for a long time. So Halal bhai, if I ask you were working with the kind of different context, you were working in doing a response also. So, and we know that we have during the time of COVID-19 when all the world are facing the problems, and in the meantime Bangladesh one of the problem for a long time, and this is one of the Rohingya crisis what we all the time talk about it. So if I ask you what about the response? We know that during the time of COVID-19 a lot of foreigners just they went back, and a lot of programs stopped. So how you are operating in Rohingya response, and what about your work there?
Thank you. Actually, I need to fix from where I will start.
Yeah, you can start from the camp.
No, this
you can start from the camp.
I'm listening the Salman Bhai and others also about their experience. Actually, problem is that this is not what we are thinking. Obhrujatra working since 1998. This is from one side we have a lot of beneficiary and in Chittagong division especially. So what is actually our thinking? The people are expecting, okay, maybe Obhrujatra will do something. The one thing is that this is what is the COVID situation? This is not a flood response. This is not a cyclone response. So we have our. I know our team maybe agree with me because 50,000 volunteers is not a solution. The solution is the decentralized. Solution is localization. So this is what we feel here. Same in Rohingya context, a lot of foreign organization, lot of more than 150 organization working here. and majorly are international organization. So what happened here, in this moment, government restricted the major operations, like first the institute is closed now. All the CFS, Adolescent Hub, Learning Center is closed. But government only allowing the RRC, the Rehabilitation and Refugee Commissioner, only allowing some critical activities here. And also there are a lot of restriction to vehicle movement also. So what happened, we are also doing, actually in COVID situation, since the lockdown happened in our country. Even I am also in lockdown. I am now.
Yeah, everyone. I know like Mithun working in the field, so I'm in a quarantine, and
Yeah.
I mean not everyone. Sorry, please.
Yeah, no, actually, what happened is I am not. It is my second office. I am not in Chittagong. I am in Cox's Bazar. So this is also happening. So we are working remotely, and we are trying to do something to our vulnerable people in surrounding us, and who actually last 10 years, 15 years, some groups like Obhijatra having workers, ready-made garments industry workers, farmers group.
If I ask you one of the questions, what new strategy you adopting right now? Because we all know that during the time of COVID-19, a lot of things change. What kind of new strategy because of emergency response?
That's I am coming actually. So there in here, what we did, we are standing some youth groups in the local areas, because what I already mentioned, 50,000 volunteers in one place, it is not a good solution. So if we can strengthen some young youth groups, strengthen some CSO clubs in the local area. So that will be the good what we did.
I mean, there is no judgmental, Halal bhai. There is no good or bad, and those who are doing.
This is actually what we are doing now. To we have some good solution we found like this.
Salman bhai, Halal bhai, I'll back to you. I just want to ask one of the questions to Dasrabi. So you are working with the UN. So you're working with the international organization. So if I ask you, and you already heard that the people, those who are contributing in their local community, for their local communities and also their nations, and during this time we saw there's a lot of problems. Even we saw that we know about even in the USA there's a lot of fund cut, and there's a lot of problem is going on. So in this context, how UN, I know like you are not officially here to represent the UN, but if I ask you in your experience, how UN basically working to contributing and to cooperating with the local organizations?
So for us, we always work in cooperation and in coordination with local organizations. We always have a lot of partner organizations to help us do our work, because as a part of the UN, we don't have enough people to do everything. So most help comes from the local communities themselves, with community leaders as well as NGOs working on the ground. So I think that people who are already working on the ground, they haven't stopped doing that. They might be restricted to their homes, but they're still coordinating and managing their duties in whatever way they can. And the UN, particularly my organization, they have stepped up the responses that they had at border control. So helping governments screen migrants and other workers who are coming and who are crossing borders, because despite the travel restrictions, a lot of countries are still repatriating their own citizens. So some international travel is still happening. So we have to make sure that not only these people are safe, the host community which is receiving them is also safe. And also we appreciate all the work that is being done at the borders by these border officials, because they're the frontline defenders at this point. And so are the health workers, because we have stepped up our response in checking for where and what help can be provided if any symptoms are detected. So
yeah, if I just added the other questions, like we know that like there is a UN and also the local organization depend on the fund. So and because right now the situation or situation is going on everywhere. So in this context, how do you think so, like those who are working in the ground, they'll, I mean, face any problem to getting fund, or like what will be the context, or what things in in your experience, because we saw that even experience in Cox Brother, here's a lot of organizations, they are thinking about, okay, maybe the next year will not able to keep continue because of the funding. In so whatever your perception on that?
Right. My perception on this is that for the UN, the major donors are the state agencies. So the United States is one of the biggest donors. China is another big donor. So the uh, funding will come from these organizations. However, the priority for the projects that they're funding will change. So they might be interested in something related to rural development in 2019. However, they might want to shift their focus on in 2020. So I think that funding, pattern of funding would change from the kind of projects and the donors who were supporting this earlier to the people who would be supporting this later. So I still feel that it's not as if funding will completely disappear. It might hamper a few projects, but then accordingly, people will focus on the other projects.
Yeah, thank you. If I come to the Salman, so we know that like when people are working in the ground, and there's a lot of volunteer who are working in a different part of the Bangladesh. So what about them right now, and what about the condition of them? Because most of the volunteer, even they are just came out their home like till 1 month, and still they are outside of their home, and they're not able to meet with their family members sometimes. So what do you know from different perspective? So what about them right now? And if I ask you also, the another question is, we know that the Bidananda also that depend on the fundings, and also if I ask you, like, this is a curiosity of the, and also the audience demand is how Bidananda operating, and what about the fund about Bidananda?
Basically, Bitananda Foundation is a voluntary organization, so it's not like a NGO or like this organization. So we do not have any specific source of fund. So this foundation, or the activities of this foundation depends on crowdfunding. So anyone from the society can donate to or patronize in any project of Vidyananda Foundation. So anyone or any institution can participate in any project by providing monthly donation or one-time grant, or providing us any type of instruments. So to ensure financial transparency through external audit, Vidyananda does not collect money through any volunteer or any other person without some specific medium. So Vidyananda does not encourage to believe on it in blindly. Rather, it suggests to follow its activities for some time and then donate. So except that anyone can visit Vidyananda at any time without any notice. So to ensure financial transparency, we always try to publish financial audit report to the people. So that's why the people of Bangladesh, or the general people of Bangladesh, depend on this or can trust this organization for donation. And if I want to say about volunteers, actually different types of people are working here. Some are students from different university, different college, or in some are in professional, some are job holder, or some are businessmen, or some are about retired officer, like that, like my father or my mother, like that. So different types of people involved here, but the common identity of everyone is volunteer of Vidyananda Foundation. We have a different identity by individual identity, but we keep our identity in our home. But when we come here, we are the volunteer of Vidyananda Foundation. And in COVID-19, in this situation, actually, we are working about more than 100 volunteers at this situation in different parts of Bangladesh. Like in Dhaka, we are about 30 volunteers are working here. We have 3 different stations and a different team in Dhaka city. Like Dhaka city, there are another team in Chittagong, another team in Rajshahi, another team in Rangpur. But how can do we can distribute this huge relief to every districts or every area
Yeah.
of Bangladesh?
Yeah.
How can? So that's why we are taking help from Bangladesh Army, Navy, BGP, or different organization, different volunteer organization, and distribute the relief through them. So that's why this use work or this use work is become very easier for us to distribute in a balanced way. So and we are for security purpose.
If I just
we
added
are
one of the questions,
volunteers.
Salman, just I'm sorry to say, if I added the one of the questions, like you said, I saw the different lines and also the different comments. Like people call it charity, we call it responsibility, and why you call it responsibility? Why the Vidyananda treated themselves as a responsibility and the volunteer of the Vidyananda?
Actually, the definition of volunteers is a little bit different to us. In Bangladesh, if you see in Bangladesh, the volunteerism like that making event in a day of week or in a month, one day in a month like that. But we are trying to do any specific work throughout the year. So that's why we take this work as professionally, like that we are professional volunteer. And we want to introduce us about professional volunteer and take this work as a profession. So that's why we are very professional in this type of work, and we always try to show our professional ethics or our professional mind to do this type of work. So that's why Vidyananda Foundation have got some crazy followers or some crazy volunteers who can do any type of work at any time. So that's why this is the different aspect in Vidyananda Foundation, and we have a very little number of volunteers, but we have some volunteers that can do a lot of work. So that is the positive side, or that achievement of Vidyananda Foundation, that it can it have created some crazy followers that who can do anything at any time. So that's why it can be possible for us to do any type of work at any situation and very rapidly.
Yeah, so that's why you're treating yourself as this is a responsibility, right? And this is the basic difference of the charity and also the responsibility. We are trying to connect to the Mithun. So if I ask you so Mithun, you are here, and I also asked that question to the Salman from Vidyananda. If I ask you, people call it charity, we call it responsibility. So are you agree with this quotations, and what about your perceptions? Why, like, what the basic difference, like the charity and also the responsibility? When the Salman was talking about, because the Vidyananda people, they can do a lot of the stuff together, they can take the decisions in a moment, they can make something happen, like the crazy volunteers, like. So, and he was talking about their volunteer professional, that's why they're treating themselves like this is a responsibility, though people treating as a charity. I mean, what about you organizations? And because you are running one of the one of the big also opportunity volunteer opportunity organizations. So please, what about your perception if you share with us? Salman, sorry, yeah, Mithun, are you here? I think there's a problem. Yeah, we are trying to connect the Mithun, so we'll again ask to him. So Halal Bhai, the same questions to you too. Like, people call it charity, we call it responsibility, and I mean, what does it mean to you?
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's sure because we have, this is our one types of social responsibility first. And this is actually like now in COVID situation, everywhere everybody is in trouble, and especially like us, like Agrojatra, we are most of them we are depending on the foreign donation, foreign fund, with the approval of NGFS Bureau. So in this situation, you know, the total world is in crisis. So in that case, but we cannot ignore the people, our responsibility. This is actually we are responsible to the community people. So this is from our side. What I mentioned earlier, because we are working long time, last 15 years in the disaster risk reduction. So this is actually any crisis. Including COVID, this is our responsibility to do something for the people. And
Yeah.
even in COVID situation also, we don't receive any foreign donation, but we are working. Even our staffs give their salary. They contribute. Even we are really grateful to some CSR fund. We would never expect from them CSR fund from some good company in here in Bangladesh. They also contributed us in this situation. So this is actually come from the responsibility to the beneficiary, to the our vulnerable groups.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Ashraf, if I ask you, like, you're working for the UN, so one of the organ which is like, they're more professionals peoples and more experienced people, and all the time, all kind of pandemic and all kind of crisis situations, they're working, they're contributing. So if I ask you, like, what is the motivations you have? Like, you are joining for UN working for the UN. So from your responsibility, you join in UN, or like, okay, this is a world fascinating and also amazing job to contribute to the people. And if I ask you, what motivations just made you to be a humanitarian worker?
My motivations to be a humanitarian worker and to work for the UN in particular is the kind of work and the scale of work that is being undertaken by the organization. So, in an organization which is multilateral and international like the UN, I think it's easier to coordinate things. So, for example, if we are getting a case from one of the countries in Europe or in Africa, and we don't know what to do, we'll have some of our colleagues would be working there on that case. So that's one of the major concerns when you're working in such an organization, to have somebody there, even if you don't know that person, who would be able to help you out. And these are all people with similar motivations, people who want to contribute to the humanitarian cause. So when you have all these like-minded people and working with them, you learn a lot from them and from their experiences. And it's also a very good way to connect with the community in general and the organizations apart from the UN who are contributing to the community. So a very good way of learning how everyone can work together, because everyone with the same interests at heart. They all come together irrespective of what office they're working for, irrespective of which country they're from, and their end goal is same at the end of the day. And this is something which becomes even more apparent in a situation like we are facing today. Pandemic is something which makes us realize why we are in the profession and why we want to continue working in the profession. And when people who have a passion of working in the profession continue doing so, and which is why we wouldn't call it a charity but a responsibility, because it is in times like these that we realize the contribution that every single person has to make to the world at large. Uh, it's people who are in domestic jobs, and their importance is being realized during these days. So
Yeah.
these are the frontline defenders, and that's why it's our duty to take everyone along with
Yeah,
us
I
and
think
make sure.
I think that's the amazing. I think Salman, be happy to, be happy to share, experience with the quotation from others, because we have a guest from, like, from UN, from Bangladeshi organizations, and also the organization who are working in the response. We all are agree with, like, call it charity, and people call it charity, we call it responsibility. If I ask you the another questions, is like, be done on the working in different part of the country. So because it's a huge responsibility and heavy experience you have, so if you share with us, like, if anything which is all the time you keep you in mind when you are working in the ground, when your volunteers working in the ground, or any kind of story still you feel to share with the peoples, because we know that in all the time of the situations, when there's a good people, there's a bad people. There's a good initiative, and definitely there's the haters. I don't want to ask any kind of confidential questions, but rather than I can ask, like, what we know, this is a time like when Bidyananda are working, and in the meantime there's a few of the peoples, and there's a hater speech, those who are making the hater speech in the time. So when you are working as a frontliner, and in the meantime when you heard this kind of hate speech from very particular people, those who are making propaganda, and this is playing you, or this is impacting your work, or like you just get out of all of this work, like get out of all of these things, and you are working, you are focusing in your work. So if I ask you, like, what about your opinion? And when people say Vidyananda is a public organization, and what is mean to you?
Actually, at present or at this situation, Vidyananda is not a Vidyananda Foundation. It is like Bangladesh Foundation. Okay, so this is an organization of which can represent the people of Bangladesh. So we are very proud for this, and as a personally, I am very proud to be a part of this great initiative. And from my experience, actually, when I have started to work in this organization, I saw I saw a lot of creativity or innovative thinking or innovative activities in this organization, and which inspired me to work in this organization. And basically, like me, others volunteers are also inspired for this type of work. And some rules and regulation, some thinking, or some rules regulation like that, or some activities of Vidyananda Foundation is totally different from other organizations. Like that, Vidyananda is always try to make innovation in any type of activities. For example, I can say a quote here that people use their knowledge to spend money, but in this platform, the volunteers of Vidyananda Foundation use their knowledge to spend money, not to earn money. If I repeat this quote, that people use their knowledge to earn money, but we are the volunteers of Vidyananda Foundation spend our knowledge to spend money or to use money. So this is the different concept in our organization. And actually, in this moment, at this moment, how Vidyananda Foundation is the first one who have taken initiative to prevent COVID-19. Like Vidyananda Foundation is the first one to launch activities and set up.
Ashrafi, I just so that we don't misunderstand, he was basically talking about the Bangladesh context. He was talking about the Bangladesh context, and particularly the Bangladeshi organization, so that you will not mind. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay, actually I am from Bangladesh, and Vidyananda Foundation is the organization of Bangladesh actually. So as a volunteer organization in Bangladesh, it has set an example of being able to stand by the poor people in various innovative ways and help them in times of this pandemic. So without previous experience, your young volunteers of this organization have showed how to disinfectant work in a large scale. Actually, at this moment, we are using about 6,000 liter of disinfectant every day in different areas in Dhaka city and Chittagong city also. So, how to make personal protective equipment for doctors? We have showed this because we don't have any experience or any previous experience the how to make personal protective equipment for doctors. But Vidyananda Foundation is the first one who have showed this this initiative and have taken this initiative.
Salman, if I ask you, like, Vidyananda all the time take any kind of decisions, which is like any kind of initiative, which is like directly matching to the current context. So if I ask you, who take the decision to do that? Suppose sometimes you do that, okay, tomorrow this will be work, and the day after tomorrow there is some initiative. Like the people are, volunteer are working in the field, and people are, people have an experience with them. So who take the decisions, and whenever you need to take any kind of decision, who mentor you to do that?
Actually, we have different leaders in our different sectors. And you know that I already mentioned here that different types of or different professional volunteers are included here. So in different field, we are taking comment, or we are taking decision from different people or different volunteers. Actually, if you think that if I take any decision about IT related, then we are taken we will take decision from IT expert in our team, from our team. Or if we take any decision about health or nutrition, we are taking help from the people who are related in this field with us. So like this, Vidyananda Foundation is such a type of platform where you can use your skill, or you can use your professional skill for the welfare of the society, or for the welfare of underprivileged people. So that's why we can take any decision very rapidly and implement. And another one is that we are trying to take different types of initiative, but always we are not successful. Actually, we have a lot of projects that where we fail, but we are trying to do something. We are trying to set some examples for the welfare and for the art, or for the world, that people one time Vidyānanda will not, maybe Vidyānanda will not stay, will not in the world, but people can set an example that Vidyānanda, once a time there was some crazy people in Vidyānanda Foundation who can do this, or who have done this. So that's the message, that we are trying to keep some good work for the inspiration of the world, or for the inspiration of the people in the world. So that's our message, and that's our motivation.
Yeah, I think for the audience, this is even like this is an amazing example. Even the Vidyānanda, I mean, like people are really following the Vidyānanda, and people are really feeling like there is some organizations who are working and contributing. And I think this is, I mean, people really attach with the organizations. So Helal bhai, if I ask you the one of the thing which Salman was basically mentioning, and taking decision in suddenly, but you are running the NGO, so which I know, like how you take any kind of decision, you need to make a plan and project plan, and also you have to think about the risk management and also the other things, and especially for the emergencies, and how you operate, and also according to the Vidyānanda, I mean, in your perspective, like what is mean to you, like the organization are working in larger scale?
Thank you. Actually, it's a good question. Yes, anytime any crisis like any cyclone or flood, or like COVID, we have different areas, some volunteers who already working with us a long time. So what happened here, we sometimes we alarm, we use we call it is a EWS, early warning system. Obviously working with this process. So we alarm our early warning system to our volunteers. Some of them, they are maybe engaged with some others organization, some others field. So we try to use their knowledge and experience also in this field. Like sometimes we use, we already trained some assessment, like a need assessment, joint need assessment, which several times Abhijatra lead as a team leader in several response. So these actually we are also doing this way, and like now frequently we are developing our volunteers in different areas.
If I just added the one of the questions, like the Vidyānanda, only the Vidyānanda is one of the organizations, but there is a lot of organizations, even more than 1,000 organizations working in Bangladesh, and they all are enlisted. And why their one work is not like in that scale they are contributing? Even we saw that even in different perspective, different country, when Vidyānanda, when they're talking about why it is only the responsibility of us, and why not others? There's a lot of big other organizations, and why are not there, I mean, working or contributing in that way? And what is the problem of them?
No, actually, I don't know what's others' problem, but what we are trying to do, like last month, we already started our activities first in especially in Cox's Bazar and Chittagong. We sensitize our team. And you know, we have almost 60,000 garments industry workers since 2005. So we're having some workers cafe in garments industry prone area and garments workers prone area. And we also have some shops for the garments industry workers. As well as in Chittagong area, we initiated some activities. What I'm coming with that. And beside that, in Cox's Bazar districts, we also sensitize our team in different upajala, you know, the Chakuria, Ukhia, Cox's Bazar, Ramu, even Kutubdia Island. in this area, we also sensitize our team, and we start the disinfect in the different areas since I think maybe it is 20 March we started. And the PPE is a lot of shortage, and it is very difficult to manage. But our volunteers, they are excited to do this job, especially, and they did from themselves also. And yes, we gave them some support, and we gave them some experience and what the solution we use for this type of solution, where we will use it, where we cannot use it. That actually we are working remotely, and beside that, we also doing in garments industry workers. We also going to initiate the subsidy shops in Chittagong. Obviously, they're having some shop for the garments industry workers and slum area people. This is we are going to start TCB price, subsidy price, the basic items, 4 items. So these actually we are going to initiate soon. So this is actually our what I say, that this is our one type of responsibility to the.
I mean, if I just so that you will not forget my questions, like, when I share, like, there's thousands of organizations. So do you think this is a responsibility of every organizations why they're not coming forward, or do you think they're doing enough?
That's I don't want to mention here, and this is
no, I'm talking about in general.
Yes,
I'm talking about in general.
Some of them they are already working as per their capacity, as per their experience, and also that in COVID situation, everybody's experience is not same, and everybody is
that all are fresher. There's even nobody has an experience with COVID-19. This is an unknown disease, and this is the first time people are facing that. So I think regarding that, if I ask the Ashrabi, like, you heard that there's a Bangladeshi organizations who are they're contributing for the society and also the local communities, and you are a representative from UN. So, and like, what do you feel? What does it make you like? What are you feeling right now? And you visited Bangladesh, and also you work in the Rohingya context also. So how you heard that, like, the organizations like Bidyanando and organizations like Agrojatra and Alokito Shishu, they're contributing. So do you think, and how UN can cooperate with them, or how UN can work with them?
As I already said, I think our strength lies in working with people, the organizations that are working on the ground, because it's them who first understand the context and the cultural sensitivity of the issue. They're better placed. They're facing it along with the people who are in the middle of all of it. So yes, all of our responses depend on how we partner with these organizations and how our relations are with them and how we utilize this partnership. So that has always been there, and I feel that speaking from an Indian context, our partner organizations are doing a lot of groundwork, and they have been extremely efficient in assisting us whenever we have reached out to them. Even if we are not able to do something, it's them who undertake all the ground level work. And this is something they keep on doing tirelessly, despite the time of the day, despite the situation at hand. Of course, some of the activities would be hampered in the current context, because it's apart from the pandemic and the risk that the pandemic has posed, it's also a lot of government restrictions that are in place. So while all of these government restrictions are playing out, even despite that, the ground level organizations are continuing to do great work, not only in India but also in Bangladesh, like our panelists just mentioned. And it's great that people are selflessly still contributing, and whatever they can in every way that they can. Because I think also what he mentioned about the experiences and situation of people is what are the challenges that they're facing in their own personal lives, because the pandemic has also created a lot of mental health issues for a lot of people. So despite all of these physical and mental barriers that are there, it's still heartening to see the kind of response that we're getting from the community organizations.
Yeah, I think that's like on any of the organizations working the ground, and people, most of the people want the cooperations and the collaborations with the United Nations, because the UN has an experience to deal with the crisis and also the pandemic. So we are on the way to end the show. If I ask the Salman, and if you wanna, like, what about your message to the audience or anything else you wanna share to the audience? And I don't want to waste your time, because I think this is the time you are working, and you are like, you are in the frontliners, the people who are working. And I'm happy to be share, like, once I was a part of Vidyanando, and I think that makes me happy. Like, and the people, those who are contributing, like, they are amazing, and I would like to salute everyone frontliners, those who are working. So Salman, if you share your message to the audience and also the Bangladeshi and international audience. And if I ask, I just forget, like, how government are cooperating with you. I think I saw that the government very cooperative in your initiative, and they are really working. And also saw that Army, BDR, BGP, so our border guard Bangladesh, so, and also the Coast Guard, and working with Vidyanando. So what about your experience? I think this is the first time Vidyanando working with the government agency.
Actually, without their help or without their support, it is not possible for us to distribute this huge relief work. So actually, at the very beginning of this COVID-19, so the authority or the government is very cooperative with us, and actually the government has given us the permission to make PPE, personal protective equipment, for doctors. So without their permission or without their guideline, we did not do this. So that's why I think from their side or from their place, they are always cooperative with us. Actually, we are trying to do something betterment for the society. So that's why they will not help us. So that's why any type of positive work or any type of good initiative, always a government or any authority are always positive with us. And here, one thing I want to mention here, that people of Bangladesh want to support underprivileged people, but they want such a platform on which they can trust. So Vidyananda Foundation, we are really proud for this. That's why that Vidyananda Foundation is such a type of organization that who have already achieved this trust from the side of the people. And if I want to say something in the audience or in the young generation of Bangladesh, that always try to be positive, always try to share, or always try to promote positive things. Actually, in our country, some people actually still now, there are some people who are really kind-hearted, and they are trying to do something for the betterment of the society, but they always want want such a type of organization where they can relay, or someone who will take the lead, or who will take the initiative. That's the thing, or that's the fact. And in COVID-19, we have already seen that the people of Bangladesh always with us with good initiatives, and that's the message from me, that always be positive, always try to promote positive parts of Bangladesh. That will be a better, that will make a betterment for us.
Yeah, I think that's also the issue from me, and also for the I think for the audience. Say hello, if you want to say something to the audience.
Thank you. Actually, we work for the people, and especially in this situation, in internet, we are using, and we always getting information through internet, Facebook, social media,
and also
so
misinformation also.
Yeah, also misinformation also. So my request is to I am also agree with Vidyananda, and we also it is almost 14 organization. We now make a forum with Neil Shaduda also, and we are also part of this good work. So this actually happening all time. Always be positive, and also please share anything, comments anything, plus just before just and proper judgment, then you act, because we should take care of our your comments and my comments can be demoralized any person. So this is my request to be positive and also think before any comments, please just it first.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So Ashraf, we know that like not only in Bangladesh, there's around the world during the time of COVID-19 pandemic, misinformation, propaganda is going on everywhere. So what about your message to the international audience, Bangladeshi audience, even in your audience?
My message to the audience would be that you should always verify the source of the news that you're citing, and see what political backing the news agency has, and before quoting it and before sharing it with other people, because this is especially necessary in times like these where communities or groups of people could be targeted, and a lot of hate mongering happens when fake news is spread. So it's essential that you check what you're posting, and if you find out that somebody has posted some misinformation or fake news, it's also important to point it out to that person so that it doesn't spread like wildfire and then leads to some unwanted consequences.
Yeah, I think that will be amazing, and I hope like through this I mean through these shows like, and you introduce the Bidanondo, and all. Are you ever heard Bidanondo before? If you don't mind, if I ask Ashravi.
I did read up a bit about the organization after I got to know about the panelists, and they're doing commendable work. So,
Wow, wow,
congratulations.
and it's super. And I think for the audience, I think this is an amazing, like how the I mean local, national, and international organizations can cooperate, and they have the same message. Like this is a time of pandemic, when we are all are in the serious situations, and we have to stay home, and we have to judge, and we have to think, and also the cross check of information before sending, because what is good for you is not all the time good for others, and that's we all the time need to be things. So we eagerly waited for the Mithun Das Kabbo, who is an amazing youth leader and working and also contributing during the time of COVID-19. And we are hoping that Ashrabi will be come out from the home and will work and join in the field. Bidandar working amazing, and Agrojatra. And please, audience, do something and try to contribute in your society. And before commenting and before making any propaganda, please check, and also think, because the people, those who are working and dedicating, they are the people who really making the shape of the future. So this is a time to stay together, and we believe during the time of lockdown, creativity, recreation, kindness, and the volunteerism are not locked down. Stay safe and stay home. And please, I should say good night for today. And another time, audience will come back with another guest from any other country or any part of the country, those who are dedicating their life, and also those who are frontliner. Bye bye for tonight. And thanks all of you to be here. It's a huge pleasure. Bye bye
Thank
for
you.
tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.